defense stepped up in a big way. I mean, the Buffalo game was a huge football game. It was really a MAC East championship game. Our defense controlled the line of scrimmage. I thought our secondary did a great job defending deep balls. And then once we played with the lead in the second half, we really did a nice job of rushing the passer and creating pressure with a 3- and 4-man pass rush. So it was a dominating defensive effort. Offensively, we moved the ball in the first half. We just stalled on some drives, and we missed some opportunities for big plays. So really, the thought at halftime was we had to just keep doing what we were doing on defense, but we had to generate big plays on offense. Buffalo's a very pressure-oriented team. They pressure corners. They outnumber the run. And we were going to have to make some big plays on the outside. And in the second half, I thought our offensive line protected. Matt Johnson put the ball right in the money. Sean Joplin and Alex Baer came up with some big plays. And again, really, I thought that, along with our defensive effort, proved to be the difference in the game. Buffalo was a good football team. They'd been scoring a lot of points, had a good O-line, and I was just really proud of the way our whole football team prepared, executed, and the result is we are now heading to Detroit. And so when the season started, our goal was to get to Detroit, and then once we get to Detroit, we want to win in Detroit. And obviously that'll be a very big challenge. We're playing what has really been the premier program in the MAC, certainly over the last 3 and 4 years. You don't go 12-0, 12-0 in the regular season by accident. You don't get to 4 consecutive MAC championship games because you're lucky. Northern Illinois has very, very good football players. They're extremely well coached. It is certainly a school in our conference that has made an institutional commitment to football. They want to be good at football. They've hired good coaches and they recruit good players. Offensively, it's very easy to get caught up in Jordan Lynch. He certainly deserves every accolade that he has received. It sounds like he's going to go to New York now and be in the top 3 in the Heisman. It's deserving. It wouldn't shock me. But to say he's their whole football team would really not be fair to the rest of Northern's team. Their offensive line is excellent. They got 4 starters returning from a year ago. They're a very experienced unit. They know what they're doing. They don't cut people loose. They're very good at passing things off. They're physical. Lynch, I think, has rushed for about 1,700 yards, and they have another back that's rushed for over 1,000, Stingley. He's an absolute hammer. He's a big, physical, downhill back, and I think they use him in very smart ways, and they highlight his skill set. And then you've got really 2 tremendous receivers. Tommy Lee Lewis has about 1,000 yards combined between his rushing and his receiving. They get him going with those jet sweeps, and he can flat out fly. Extremely dangerous in the return game. Brown is an excellent receiver as well. He can run by in a heartbeat, and they're a tough out. If it was just a matter of putting 10 guys up there and stopping Jordan Lynch, teams have tried that and they can't do it, but the teams that have any success with that are very susceptible to big plays. So defensively, we're going to have to be physical, we're going to have to be disciplined, we're going to have to keep our eyes in the right place, and we're going to have to do it for 60 minutes. Defensively, if Khalil Mack, I believe, was voted the Defensive Player of the Year in the conference today, I would be shocked if Jimmy Ward wasn't the runner-up, their safety. I don't think they announced the votes, but he is, again, if Max won, this guy's a close second. He is an outstanding football player. Hits like a linebacker, has cover skills like a corner, extremely dynamic, physical. The interception he made against Toledo was as fine of an interception as I've seen this year in the conference. They've got an excellent defensive tackle in Bishop, who's extremely physical, 93. Their 2 ends are good pass rushers. They got a couple of linebackers. Certainly Bass and Mays stick out, being dynamic playmakers, and guys that blitz very effectively as well. Their defensive numbers aren't great, but in part, their offense is so up-tempo and so fast, and they score so quickly. They end up defending a lot of plays on defense, and they play a lot. I think if their offense was more of a normal tempo offense, this would be a top 3, top 4 defense in the conference. So, again, we're certainly thrilled and excited that we're playing in this game. but I don't get the feeling that our guys are happy just to be here. I think when the season started, our football team expected to be here, and I think we'd have been really disappointed if we weren't. And our mindset is that I don't think this team is going to be happy to come up short. That we've had a great week of practice. We're excited to get up there and play an excellent football team. We know we're going to have to play well, but our goal is to become the MAC champions. And we're a little more than 48 hours away, and the butterflies are going, and we're excited to play this football game.
Can you take you through the past 4 years? You've been saying MAC championship is the goal every year, but this year, finally getting there, what does that mean to you and also the program?
It's the program. A football program involves so many people. It involves administrative support from the president. Dr. Mazey has been amazing in her support to our program. I've been able to work for two very supportive athletic directors, Greg Christopher and Chris Kingston, that have helped this process. I have a phenomenal coaching staff. And I say that not just because we're winning, but because when we were 2-10, we had a vision of what we wanted it to look like, and we kept working towards that goal. But the real credit belongs with the players. This is our job, this is our profession, this is what we get paid to do. For an 18 and 19-year-old to keep working hard when you're 2-10, that's not easy. And we're really fortunate. We have a great senior class, really good, talented football players, but also high character guys and great leaders. And they're the reason we're in this position.
This week, defensively, what kinds of things did you do to simulate facing Lynch?
I mean, we run the plays they run. John, you can't simulate his skill set. If he was a tailback, he would be a first-team all-conference tailback in this conference. If they didn't run him and just threw the ball, he'd be a first-team all-conference quarterback. His skill set is so unique, and he's so good at throwing the ball. He's a very accurate thrower. We have NFL scouts through here that believe he can be a quarterback in the NFL. So you can't mimic him and try to run their plays, and our players are smart. They know he's a good player. And, the key, very simply, is we got to tackle him. If you look at the close games that they've won, it's because they didn't tackle him. And I'm not saying that's easy to do, but if you eliminate a handful of missed tackles by a couple of opponents, they're probably not 12-0. But the bottom line is great players make plays at critical times, and he's done that over and over and over again in his career. I mean, he rushed for 320-some yards last week?
Not the first time this year.
Yeah, that's hard to do against a scout team. I mean, he's a unique talent and a unique skill set.
If I understood John a few minutes ago, you have one first-team All-MAC defensive player, is that right? I guess you'd rather be in the championship game with a well-rounded, team-oriented approach than 2-10 with a guy leading the nation in tackles. But does that seem odd to you?
Again, I mean, I think we have a good coaching staff. I don't, it's not like we were trying to make chicken salad from what. I mean, we have really good players, yes. Tedalette is a first-team all-conference defensive tackle. If he wasn't hurt for 3 games, he's first-team all-conference. Gabe Martin could have been the defensive player of the year in the conference, but he got hurt. I think Jarris Campbell, if he's healthy the whole year, is an all-conference player. So we play really good team defense. And I think that shows up that we don't have one guy that has 120 tackles. We play really good team defense, and I think we got a lot of guys in our team that are deserving of being all-conference players. I'm proud of the guys that got the award. How Tedalette isn't first team, it's one reason. He was hurt. When he's healthy, he's as good as anybody in the conference. But unfortunately, he got tweaked up a little bit against Murray. But watch him the last 3 weeks, you tell me who's better. When Gabe Martin's healthy, tell me who's better than him. So, again, we had some guys that got injured this year, and that maybe hurt them because they weren't on film as much. But yeah, it's, and again, I'm excited Boo Boo got it. I can give you a list of guys that I think deserve to be first team, but I'm not objective on that one. These are our guys.
Watching the film over the past week with Buffalo and IU, is there one side of the ball you feel needs more work, or a part of the game that needs more work?
Our whole football team needs more work. That's never going to change. We got to get better at a lot of things. So, it's football. You want to be perfect. You're never going to get there, but you keep shooting for it. So, there's a lot of things we need to get better at. And, even when you win a game like that, you find things on film that you need to do better. And there was certainly plenty of it from Buffalo.
It's that time of year again. You've had a lot of success here. Have you addressed any coaching rumors that may arise?
To even bring something like that up now is disrespectful to our program. I know you need to ask it, but I'm not. We're trying to win a conference championship. So no, our focus is on winning the MAC championship, and that's where my focus is.
When you're looking at the performance in the second half for your team, and also Northern's done the same things, what's been the key to success in the second half for your team, and then what are you seeing that Northern's doing in the second half?
Well, I think when you're good in the second half in the fourth quarter, I think a lot of it speaks to the strength and conditioning level of your football team. And when we play like that, I want to give a lot of credit to our strength coach, Brandon Horgan. He really does a great job with our football team. I think if you talk to our football players, he said, why are you stronger? Why are you winning games in the fourth quarter? It's two reasons. Number one, their work ethic, and number two, Coach Horgan. That's not an accident, and we've been like that 2 years in a row. So we've got older guys that are more physically developed, and he does a great job getting them ready. And I think the great thing about Coach Horgan is he knows when to push them, and he knows when they need a rest and when they need to take the foot off the gas a little bit. So the fact that we are healthier right now and probably fresher than we've been all season as we get into game 13, I think is a great compliment to our strength coach.
You talked about rebuilding over the past 4 years. A lot of the team is seniors this year. Do you feel that the players coming up have the same mindset that the seniors have going up?
We'll find out next year. So again, I'm not worried about 2014 right now. We put a lot of time and a lot of work into winning a MAC championship. That's in front of us in 2 days, and I'll worry about 14 and 14. But I will say this: our senior class has certainly given a great example for the younger players in our program on how to conduct themselves on the field, off the field, in the weight room, on the practice field, in here. It is a class group, and the best type of leadership is the leadership that just does the right thing day after day after day, and we have that in the senior class. And it's certainly they have set a standard that the other classes are going to have to live up to, and that won't be easy.
I know that you guys don't pay a lot of attention to point spreads, but you're playing a team that's ranked either 14th or 15th in the country. It's been in 4 straight championship games, 2 straight undefeated seasons. You know what they've done. You pick the paper up scoring is 3 points, which doesn't seem like a whole lot.
I don't know how
I don't know where this question is going,
without getting in trouble. So.
No, the question is that an assessment of your defense more so than anything else, maybe? That people are looking at your defense as being capable of doing things that no other MAC school has been able to do against them?
Do people respect our defense? I think they do. I don't know why they wouldn't. It's been 2 years of we've been a top 10 defense nationally in a football conference known for offensive fireworks. So, again, there's leagues that run the ball and play defense, and most of their defenses will be in the top half. We're in an offensive conference. And so I think what our defense has done the last 2 years on its own merit is really impressive, but even more impressive considering the conference we play in and even who our non-conference schedule is. You know, this has always been known as an offensive league, and there's always more than 2/3 of the team that are in the top half offensive numbers. And so again, yeah, I'm proud of our defense, and I think they are respected and they've earned it. So how they get point spreads, I have no idea.
Do you see that defense, considering that the team approach, that Coach Elko called the mosh pit tackle approach, sideline to sideline, turning things in? Do you see them as being capable of handling this kind of offense, maybe better than other teams have?
Well, we expect them to, but I mean, can we handle the offense? Yes. Can you handle the players? I mean, the players that we've got to defend are really good football players. So, I mean, every defensive coordinator in the country can drop a scheme and stop a scheme. It's when you have a chance to make plays in space. And what Northern does, which is so unique, is they run a lot of the same plays from a bunch of different formations. And so they have all this body of work that they've shown over 12 games. So we've broken down 12 games and watched 900, 1,000 plus snaps. And what are the 70 or 80 plays they're going to run against us? Because they will get in formations that force different players to execute the same assignment. So it might be one play the linebacker, and then they're in a balance, and your corner has to execute the exact same assignment. And then they're in an open 3-by-1 set, and then your safety has to execute the exact same assignment. And so if they catch you in a formation you don't know how to handle, bang, bang, bang. And they put different players in position to have to make plays. You know, so it's not a matter of, hey, we're going to try to get DJ Lynch to tackle Jordan Lynch. If you have any success doing something, they're going to jump in another set and force another player to make the same fit in the same play. And that's what they're so good at. They will formation you to death. It's a lot of what we call window dressing, but if you don't line up to it and you're not sound, you can get embarrassed. And that's a hard prep in 1 week. So we played last Friday, and they had a couple of extra days. So with what they do on offense, it's a challenge, and they're really good at it. Like I said, this is a combination of good players, good coaching, and a really good offensive scheme. Their numbers are off the charts. So if you don't have good players, if you don't have a good scheme, if you're not well coached, you're not going to put, 590 or what is it, Teddy? It's a lot. So, and the thing about him, that no lead will ever be safe, because he can rip off an 80-yarder in a heartbeat.
Coming into this game, Northern is playing basically for a BCS bid, and that would, as you guys found out last year, them getting that bid was a beautiful thing for the MAC.
Yeah.
So, have you given much thought to, you might be 12 against 1 here, there's probably not a lot of MAC schools rooting for you.
There is not an athletic director, an administrator, a trainer in the MAC conference that's rooting for Bowling Green. So, the reality of it is, if we win, how that affects their budget isn't good. On the other hand, every commissioner of every AQ conference are huge Bowling Green fans right now. So I'm kind of disappointed we haven't got a fruit bowl or something from Mike Slive or Larry Scott or John Swafford, because I know right now that they are huge Bowling Green fans.
Would that be against NCAA rules of free fruit bowl?
If they want to send it, I don't think they can send our coaching staff, right, Chris?
If
Yeah, they could send our coaching staff anything they want. So a little encouragement for our players before the game, hey, we'll take it. We'll even give them a tax write-off for it. So we've got more schools for us than against us. It's just the ones that we play against that probably are pulling for us too hard right now.
I'd imagine you don't need to sell much to the guys, but are you selling that to them? You know, hey, it's us against the world.
We never sell, and people may not believe this, there's not 1 ounce of our motivation is to prevent them from going to a BCS Bowl. Our motivation is all for Bowling Green. We want to be the MAC champions. It's as simple as that. I think you have those goals when you're not a good team. You know, if you're 4 and 5 and you're playing a team that's in first place, hey, we can knock them out. When you're a good football team and you have your positive goals, you don't have to get into negative goals of how it adversely affects your opponent. So we want to win because we want to be MAC champions, simple as that. How that affects their bowl prospects, that's not part of the motivation. You know, we'd love it if we beat them and they still could go to a BCS Bowl, because then we'd get all that money too.
Anything else?
All right, well, thanks for coming out, and I appreciate all of you covering us all year. We do enjoy having you down, and appreciate your coverage of our football team. Thanks.